All right, everybody, welcome to today's personal development lesson. I am your host, as always, Joel Dunn. Today, uh, I have one that I haven't done in a long time, so I thought I would bring you in on a classic lesson that I did. It was called The Power of Five. Now, this is John Maxwell's Power of Five network marketing project that I had the honor of helping shape. I was part of the Leadership Council Advisory Board that helped John work with John and the Maxwell leadership team for over a year, putting this information together, developing the lessons, developing the book, and then launching it, and then speaking from stage with John, which was unbelievable. So this is one of those things that I want to teach you, not just something that I believe in, but something that I helped build. This isn't theory. It's not something that I just read in a book. This is something that I lived, tested, watched, see it change lives, and ultimately it created a lasting impression, and it really impacted my leadership and changed the course of my leadership. So here's where I want to start with, because John tells a story about chopping down a tree. He said you got to pick one tree, grab the right axe, and take 5 swings every single day. Stay focused on the same tree, and eventually it falls. Now, you can't go to a forest and just hit one tree one time and then go to the next tree and hit it one time and then go to the next tree and hit it one time, because nothing will happen. You have to go to the same tree and hit it 5 times every time, not because of the one powerful swing that you're going to do to chop that tree, but because of the daily focused, consistent action. So the axe in the story is just the how. The real question is the 5 swings. What are those? And that's what we built the whole framework around. The 5 lessons, the 5 priorities in network marketing that separate the people who win in business from the people who stall out. So the large overview we're going over today is the 5 swings, which are growth, connecting, mindset, leadership, and significance. And the portion that I got to speak on stage about was the mindset section. That was the part that I had the most input in, and that's where John wanted me to focus on developing. And so that was my portion of it. So before we dive in, I just want to give you this phrase that John said, and I want you to grab onto it. He calls it the moment, and you start doing this kind of thing, it changes everything. You begin with the pre-win. It's the starting line where your desire and you have things finally overwhelms you to a point where you're no longer afraid. He says it's the most important line you'll ever cross. So let's cross that line together today, because these are the 5 things that you can swing every single day and eventually chop down the tree that you're working on. So swing number one is growth. Grow yourself before you grow your business, because your business will never outgrow you. Your team will never get bigger if you have not gotten bigger. So if you want a bigger team, you as the leader get bigger. This was the foundation we kept coming back to when we were building all of this, because everything starts here. See, your income in this business is directly tied to your personal growth, not your luck, not your timing, your ability to grow. So, again, I applaud you for getting on here, because you are committed to your growth. Because the moment you stop growing, your business stops growing. Because you can't lead people to a place you've never been. You can point to the direction, you can go that way, but you can't teach what you don't know. You can't give belief that you personally don't have. John says it bluntly, and it's like this. Get better or get left behind. Because the people winning aren't more talented than you. They just are more committed to becoming a little better every single day. Things that they do, they read, they listen to training, they put themselves in rooms with people further ahead than them. They treat failure as tuition, not defeat. Because your business' greatest asset is you. So invest in that asset. When you grow, everything you touch grows with you. I cannot harp on this enough, guys. If you want a different life, you need a different you. If you want your business to grow, you have to grow first. It's super simple. All you have to do is commit to 15 minutes of intentional growth every day. Read, listen, or learn something that you can apply. Then do it again tomorrow. Swing number 2 is connection, connecting with people in your business. This was never about product. It was about people. Because if you get the people right, the business is right. So master the ability to make others feel heard and feel that they matter because they do. Now, let me be clear about this. Your business that you're actually in isn't a product business. It may be something that you sell, but this is the one where you spend the real time on. You are in the business of people. You're not in a sales business. You're not in a product business. You are in the human business. And people don't join products. They join people who make them feel seen. And John teaches this with this particular picture. And it's one of those things that I never forgot. And you probably heard me say it quite a few times. Be a river and not a reservoir. Because a reservoir holds things to itself and gets stale. A river flows. It pours into everything and everyone it touches. And that's what a connector does. They don't go from the stage to the back room out the door. They walk slowly through the crowd. They talk to the people that they're leading. The skill that changes everything here is simple, but it's very rare. Making the person in front of you feel like they matter. Not talking at them, not pitching them, connecting with them, encouraging them, filling them up. So, as the leader, you ask more than you tell. You listen to understand, not to respond. Remember what matters to them. And you make every person feel like the most important person in the room. Because here's what's true: people will forget your presentation, they will forget the things that they talk about. You will forget this lesson, but you'll never forget how I made you feel and how you make them feel. Because here's the thing: people don't just join businesses, they join people who make them feel like they matter and that they can have an impact in a business. So, in your next conversation, make the other person feel completely heard. Ask, listen, and make them feel important. Because the thing that you can learn about them could possibly change everything for you. So, before you even say a single word, ask, listen, and make them feel important. Swing number 3, this is mine. This is mindset. Because the greatest gap is how you think, not what you think. John says this: if he could take one thing and only teach you it, it would be this. The biggest gap between the successful and unsuccessful people is how they think. And this is the one thing that, I watched John land from stage and then the room went silent because everyone felt it. Because it's the same opportunity, the same tools, the same comp plan. So why does one person build an empire and another person quits in 90 days? And it all comes down to mindset. Because the winner and the quitter often face the exact same circumstances. The difference is what's happening between their two ears. Because when somebody sees a no as a rejection, the other sees it as one step closer. You've heard me talk about going for no. How many no's can you get to the next yes? Those aren't rejections. Those are one step closer. One sees hard months as a reason to quit. The other sees it as the price of admission and developing their leadership skills. And here's the key we hammer home. The right mindset isn't automatic. You have to build it on purpose. It starts with something that's really, really simple, but also really, really hard. Intentional thinking in the morning, because it moves to your action steps from being just something that could possibly happen to something intentional, something that you are willing to make happen. Because your self-talk is either building you or it's burying you. So you need to take control of it. Feed your mind truth. Guard it like the asset that it is. Because when we're talking about investing in you, we are truly talking about having to rewire a lot of people's minds. Because we are automatically programmed for pessimism, safety, and comfort. So here's the thing, the same opportunity, different outcome. The gap is always going to be mindset. So you are going to be as much of a mindset coach as you are a leader, a sales coach, somebody that's going and pushing a team forward, because you have to get down to the root cause of each person on your team, which normally comes down to how can you positively encourage and affect their mindset. So here's the one thing. Catch one negative thought that you have today or somebody on your team says out loud and replace it with the truth and replace it out loud. Start training that gap between where you are and where you want to be. Point number 4, which is the biggest swing that we talk about for everybody wanting to go to that next level. It's leadership. But here's the thing. I know the hardest person for me to lead is myself. So I have to learn to lead myself first before I can lead anybody anywhere. Because leadership, when you just boil it down to its lowest common denominator, is influence. That's the term that John uses constantly. Leadership is influence. And the hardest person you'll ever have to lead is yourself. Because in network marketing, you don't have a boss, do you? There's nobody making you work. And that's the freedom and that's the dream. But it's also a trap. Because if you can't lead yourself, this business will expose it fast. And John simply defines it as influence, nothing more, nothing less. Your team will never rise higher than the leadership that you model. But before we can lead a team, we have to do the hardest battle, and that's leading me. So I have to be doing the work when no one's watching. I have to be keeping promises that I made to myself. I have to hold my standards on the days I don't feel like doing it. And here's the truth. I can't ask my team to do what I'm not doing myself. That's more along the lines of management, not leadership. I can't help lift people to a level that I can't hold. And leadership is lived long before it is taught. So lead yourself well, and you will earn the right to lead others. People will follow you when they see that your leadership walk is the same as your leadership talk. Now, again, the hardest person that I'll ever have to lead is myself. The hardest person that you'll ever have to lead is yourself. So win that battle first. And identify one thing you'd expect from a strong leader on your team. Do that exact thing yourself today. No exception. Swing number 5. And this is the great one, significance, because you need to be building something bigger than you. The thing that I heard today, Peter Diamandis was being interviewed by Ed Milet, and he said, passion is the thing that you love doing, but significance is the thing that you do to lift others up. Because success is about what you get, significance is about what you give and who you lift. And the real win is always adding value to others. And this is the one that ties it all together, because it's the heartbeat of why John wrote this whole book and did this whole training. Because success asks, what can I get from you? Where significance asks, who can I lift and bring on the journey to success with me? Because you can chase success your whole life and still feel empty. I've said this quite a few times. I've been in some big rooms with some big income earners, some very successful people, but they feel hollow and empty, and they're asking me questions about significance. Because the moment you shift to significance, genuinely adding value to your team and other people, helping them win, watching them become more than they thought was possible. That's when this business becomes a mission instead of a side hustle. And there's a huge, beautiful piece of this. Significant actually build bigger businesses. Because when your people know you're truly for them, not using them, you're actually building them, they'll run through walls with you. And John says this, the mistake people made is thinking that they have to reach some level before that they can even start to think about significance. And we know that that's not true. You can add value to someone today right where you are. Because building people builds this business itself. Success is what you gain, but significance is who you lift up along the way, the lives that you change, and it creates a feeling of actual accomplishment that is full, not hollow. So pour real value into one person in your team today with nothing expected in return. Help them win for the sake of their winning, not for yours. So focus on one tree. Don't swing one time on 5 different trees. Swing 5 times on that one tree. And what are the swings? You have to work on growth, connecting your mindset, leadership, and focusing on significance. 5 priorities, 5 swings, and John gives us 4 actions to bring them down. Know your target, grab the right tool, take action every day, and stay focused. You know, this is one of those things that I helped shape with John. Got to teach it from John's stage, which was one of the greatest honors that I've experienced. And I'm telling you this from experience because it works. Not because it's flashy, but because it's simple, it's foundational, it's not tips and tricks, it's true. You don't need a lucky break. You don't need one giant swing. You only need to chop 5 times every single day and refuse to wander off to a different tree. Every single time you get discouraged, you look over at another tree, but realize that going to that next tree, you're going to have to start all over again chopping. The tree in front of you is the one that is going to be coming down. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but if you keep swinging those 5 things, it falls guaranteed over time. So this week, take a swing at all 5 every day. Grow yourself, connect with somebody, guard your mindset, lead yourself, add value to a teammate. Don't skip one. Don't wander. Just keep going, guys. Keep swinging over and over and over again, and watch what starts to fall for you. You've already crossed the starting line. That's your pre-win. Now it's time to pick up your act and go towards things swinging every single day. I help build it. I live it. It's your turn to live it and go build something that lasts with others. Guys, take this, share it. Hope that it helps. If you have any questions, put it in the chat, DM me. I love helping people with this. Guys, go out and make it an amazing day, and I hope your week is as awesome as you are.